Good morning and welcome to CAM Look, your daily dose of the Cincinnati Art Museum, when each day a member of the CAM family shares a work from our permanent collection and poses a few questions for discussion. We hope you'll check back each day at 10 a.m. for a new look and a new chat. Hi, my name's Emily and I'm the Director of Learning and Interpretation here at the museum. And today I'm sharing one peach of a painting and probably one of my favorites in the collection, this work by the French artist Nicolas Largilliere. Let me introduce you to Madame Titon de Cogny, Jeanne-Cecile de Mongermon. This oil on canvas was created in 1713, and it is 55¼ inches by 42⅛ inches, so a little over 4½ feet tall by 3½ feet wide, so pretty big. She's in Gallery 207 on our second floor with other French works from the same period. When you walk into the small gallery, she cannot be missed. Let's look at her closely. How old do you think she is? Her thick, wavy hair is loosely pulled off her face and gathered on the top of her head with a small white cap festooned with a light pink feather and dangling pearl. 2 curls frame either side of her forehead. The remainder of her hair drapes down her back and peeks over her shoulders in a few loose curls. But her hair is covered in white powder. Could also be a wig, so that does not help us determine her age. Her round, full face with slight double chin is snowy white, likely also powdered. She has just a hint of a rosy cheek, deep-set gray eyes that look right at you, and a pursed red mouth with a slight grin. But no wrinkles are apparent. The artist was smart to omit those if they did exist, to help us age her. I feel like she perhaps is in her late 20s, early 30s. But what do you think? She is opulently dressed. I mean, wow. The front of her dress is low cut, showing quite a bit of her décolleté. The neckline is trimmed in white lace. This same lace peeks out just below her elbows on both arms. Her dress is a creamy white silk that comes together at the waist and appears to be fastened with a long, multi-jeweled brooch. The sleeves are voluminous, pooling at the elbow. Each sleeve is caught with what appears to be a ruby and dangling pearl. Over her shoulder and down her left side is a peach-colored sash that is also caught up by the brooch at her waist. Moving down to her skirt, we see 2 slits that show a peach-colored underskirt peeking out from the cream topper. At the top of each slit are 2 additional jeweled brooches. Around the edging of the sleeves, skirt, and neckline is what appears to be a delicate gold embroidery. So she's fancy, and she is showing all of her finery for her portrait. She's posed against an ochre-colored balustrade, and if you look very closely, you'll see the artist has signed his name along the pediment. Her left arm is resting on top of the wall, with her left hand dangling off the edge. Behind her to the right, we see a couple of trees with autumn leaves and a few flowers. Behind her to the left is a portrait bust of a sphinx with laurel crown. In the lower right corner are more flowers, which I can't identify. Maybe a peony? Okay, now that we've looked at her, I want to know, who is she? Okay, I had to do some serious digging. All internet searches on her name turned up with links to our painting. Thanks a lot, Google. I referred to the curatorial file on this painting and found out the following. She is the second wife of Pierre-Joseph Titon, 1686 to 1758, and he was the Seigneur de Cogny, Vicomte de la Forêt-Tournier. The Titons were one of the leading families of the noblesse de la robe, a class of aristocrats whose rank came from holding certain judicial and administrative posts in Paris in the late 17th and early 18th centuries. They were among Largilliere's most faithful patrons. The artist likely made the couple's acquaintance through one of 2 occasions on which he painted Pierre's father, Louis Maximilien Titon de Cogny, once in 1689 and again in 1695. Pierre, Louis Maximilien's second son, was painted in 1713. And as I previously mentioned, it is his second wife, Jeanne-Cecile, who is the subject of our portrait, and that was painted in the same year. When shown side by side, it's sweet that the 2 lean towards each other and mirror their poses. So we now know a bit more about our Madame, but I want to know more than that she is someone's second wife. I'll continue investigating. I feel like there's an interesting character behind that grin. And to be honest, I just really want to sit down and gossip with her. Okay, a little bit more about our artist. He was born in Paris in 1656. The son of a Parisian hatter who moved to Antwerp, a young Nicolas was apprenticed there. Something of a prodigy, he was admitted to the Painters Guild of St. Luke when he was only 17. From 1674 until 1679, he worked in England as a decorative painter and restorer for the crown and painted a number of still lifes. In 1679, Largilliere settled in Paris, where he specialized in Baroque portraiture. By 1687, he'd become a favorite portraitist of government officials, members of the high clergy, municipal leadership, the judiciary, and the Parisian and provincial aristocracy. Basically, the wealthiest echelons of the middle class, artists, and foreign dignitaries. In his portraiture, of which the museum's work is a great example, subjects are elegantly integrated into indoor or outdoor settings, and the artist often relies on mythological disguises, flurries of drapery, and flamboyant poses to dramatize his characterizations of them. Largilliere died in 1746 at the age of 90, having served terms as professor, rector, chancellor, and director of the Académie Royale. Okay, so we've learned a little bit about Madame and a little bit about the artist, but did you really think I was going to sign off on this cam look and not talk about the peach? Look at it. She's holding it, she's pointing to it. It's got to mean something in this painting. This painting has so many questions for me. What does it mean? What's the symbolism? What does it say about her? Is this where the peach emoji got its start? Who knows? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.